Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred and welcome to this brand new episode of Carnage Guide. I'm using an axe and mace kind of build. It's really interesting, a lot of movement here and there, and a little bit of a risk and return kind of gameplay. So I kind of like this build quite a fair bit, so I'd like to share that with you. And if you like this sort of video, do check out the link at the description below. I have more guides for you to watch, organized in the most updated kind of version. And I know some of you asked me if I could do other heroes like Winter Soldier and so on. I will take a look at him once I've finished off some of these in the pipeline. I think next one I'm going to do is Black Bolt. I've been not doing that for a while, so I'm going to do that. Now, Carnage is it's one of the new heroes these days that is rather interesting. In recent days, He's a melee hero, pretty kind of brutal in some sense, and the kind of animation is kind of nice as well. I kind of like it. I think I've done the pre-order or don't bother. I've realized that there's quite a lot of options when you build your Carnage. So in this part of the video, I'd like to just go through an overview in case you haven't really heard much about Carnage and wondering what he does. And the next part of the video, deep dive into his talent, power and trait to share with you how I built my Carnage. And last but not the least, I'm going to go through one of the Cosmic Terminal to just showcase to you how he plays like. Now, Carnage has quite a number of a mode in terms of you can go for axe mode, you can go for mace, you can go for knife, you can go for claw. Some of his power will consume health in order to deal damage. Some of the power will then actually generate health when it does damage. So it is a little bit of gameplay that rather or not you are comfortable in taking higher risk and potentially get a higher return, or just want to chill and have a little bit of health regen and a little bit of health kind of span as well. And there are also other options as well in the event whereby you do not like claw or knife, or those are more for the health regen. You could use other powers to help you regenerate your health and so on. He does have a meter called the symbiotic protection that you can play in different mode as well. If you like to use this as a mitigation, which I don't really enjoy, but if you do, then you can have this meter as a mitigation meter, and then you can also have the adrenaline rush as well that will help you kind of buff your heroes better. So it's quite a few of gameplays here and there, and he does a rather short kind of distance, but it does have quite a few charges. So if you don't spam it too much, it's almost almost like unlimited kind of dash. But I wouldn't take it that far, but he does have a little bit of nice mobility in terms of the fight wise. You can move around and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy the next bits of the hero video on the deep diving power, trait and talent. So in this part of the video, let's take a look at how I built my Carnage, and if you like, then you may want to build him that way as well. I'll try to touch on the other powers in case you want to deviate and do something different, and that's all is fine, all is well. Now, he is a pure melee hero. He can do a little bit of range, a little bit of melee as well, but this particular guide is mainly on the mostly on the melee. He is a durability and strength hero, so it's rather nice, durability and strength, because there's quite a few artifacts these days that has the tag on durability and strength. He has something called symbiotic protection. You can negate kind of incoming damage. The reason why I don't really like to use this mode is that somewhat remind me of the Psylocke kind of thing that you go in a harder content and then bam, everything is gone, your primary resource is gone, and you could also regenerate through some of the power as well, but it's just not quite my gameplay. So I'll show you what is my gameplay. And he's a defense dodge hero, so it's one of the better combination of all. Melee combatant is a 8% damage reduction. Now, very interestingly, he does have a few options when it comes to the main spend or main power. The safer choice, the one that I believe that a lot of people are using, is the Slaying Swipe. That is it's a very interesting kind of concept. If you have seen my video in the test center, it does something well, you know what? Let me just try that out for you guys, just to showcase to you what this one is like. So basically this thing will close the distance automatically and hit it. So it is almost like two power together, two power as one. Like you can just like leap onto it and hit it. And the interesting thing about this power is that it depends on whether you have done a claw or axe or knife or mace power before, and it does various kind of things. So I suppose if you kind of mix and match claw, axe, knife, and mace, you kind of get a bit of mix of everything in that sense. But it is not really my choice, because if you look at this one, it's about 18,000 kind of damage. If you look at my spender, it's at 41,000. So it's more than double. So I wouldn't really use this one. I think for leveling is fine, but for end game, I would like to take a little bit of risk, because when you use an app sweep, you actually incur damage to yourself because you use the health cost. There's a health cost to it. So, like for example, it's kind of wide, and so as you can see, I mean, anything that costs health, of course, you can imagine that you'll be higher risk, high return. This game is always like that. But it doesn't really lock you down if you don't like this sort of like, endangering yourself too much while doing other damage. Then, you can do the basic power as well. But just bear in mind the difference is humongous between the two of them. All right. So now, so that with that set out of the way, just would like to run through very quickly. There are some claw power here. Usually the claw power, it doesn't. You have some kind of like mace power here as well. So it's a kind of a bit of mix, a little bit of melee as well, a bit of knife, a little bit of like mace and stuff like that. So how do you determine what you want to do in your carnage? First thing first, you ask yourself, would you like to be a melee hero or range hero? Because once you make that decision, like for me, I would like to be a melee hero. There are a lot of power just like eliminated, like I wouldn't want to do axe throw. And later on, when I look into the trait itself, I wouldn't pick those that are the range. But the choice is really up to you. Just remember, some power costs health to execute. Some power will generate health while you kind of execute. All right, so this kind of concept is very important when you build your carnage here. Now, very excited here because I kind of like this build quite a fair bit. Now, the first tier, you have a couple of options here. You can go for more protection, so you give you more of this like symbiotic kind of like protection, help you mitigate 60% of the incoming damage, and also give you a health regen as well. Kind of thing. If you want to play safe, you could choose this power. The problem is that, sorry, this talent. But the problem is that all these things usually come with a cost, and you may find yourself you don't die often or you don't die at all, but but you just kill things very slowly. So that's I wouldn't pick that one. Another thing is that you could do axe, mace, knife at 15%. Now the catch is that if you do that, then you generate less kind of symbiotic protection, and also it costs less health to activate. So again, it's a trade-off here and there. Now I don't really like this one because when you generate lesser of this protection, I mean, I feel that the whole idea is to generate fast in a sense. But it's not entirely up to you. The reason why I don't use this is because I would like to be able to do this one, which is more fun for me, is that this thing here doesn't mitigate damage. Again, higher risk, higher return. It doesn't mitigate damage, but the cool thing about this one is that you can use pure carnage to actually empty this thing out and then gain a shield out of it, gain armor out of it and stuff like that. So you can transfer your symbiotic protection back to health through the pure carnage. So every 6 seconds, you can transfer all these things into health. Now, but the catch is this. In order to generate your adrenaline rush, you have to have this as a full, right? And then when you empty out, you make sure that you have to regenerate fast. So however you build your carnage, whatever talents you're going to pick later on, you have to keep that in mind that you need to generate this thing fast so as to keep this buff on while you want to empty this guy every 6 seconds to heal yourself. So that's the gist of it, right? Okay, so in second layer wise is that if you use knife, if you play knife power, you pick knife, which I don't. If you do range, you use this one, which I don't. So naturally, this is axe, and it's really nice. It would sort of like the good thing about this one that synergize with this one is that whenever you use Southern Rampage, which is the one that you see here, you would you know what? Let me just empty this guy out first. So whenever I use Southern kind of like slam, you actually generate quite a fair bit of symbiotic protection. Like I said before, it is important to keep it in mind how fast you can generate this symbiotic protection, because that is really your key to the buff that you want to see here, right? So you want to take all these things and generate fast, and every 6 seconds empty it out. So that is the gameplay. Okay, next bit, third tier. If you use claw, you use claw, but I don't. This is the adrenaline rush meter. This is the one that I use to sort of like whenever I hit with the health spending power at maximum symbiotic protection, I'll start to gain this buff here. Now, what is a buff? The buff is that I gain 1% of base damage, 1% movement speed, up to 50 stacks. So I can have like 50% base damage. But the cool thing about it is the 50% movement speed as well. So yeah, so that is the one that I strongly recommend you taking. And it's really fun as well, because you can see this thing building up fast. Next one is that if you use knife, you take this one. So it is very much like, I don't use knife. I find it a little bit too, I need something that is more engaging in terms of the movement, mobility wise. All right. The fourth tier, you could buff the mace, because I use mace as well. Remember, this is an axe and mace build. So mace is good. And the good thing about mace is that all the power, I have 1 extra charge. So as you can see, this one here is a mace. Smash and bash is a mace. Mauling mace is a mace, as well as psychotic smashed up is also a mace. So I have quite a nice 3-layer the mace that allow me to jump around. And the good thing about it is also the I restore symbiotic protection. So this thing here actually ramp up really fast. Like I said before, the faster the better. All right. I don't really find this one useful, so I skip. And after that, I don't do claw, so I skip as well. Last but not the least, now I use X power, so you may ask, why don't I use this one instead? The reason why is that I would like my X sweep as a main spender. Now, if I use this as my talent, then this become a layer, and I'll lose my main spender, which I do not want. So this one is my main spender. I'm very clear on that one. So this one I don't take. This one is more for movement kind of build. We want to faster and stuff like that, movement power kind of thing. I mean, I do have a few movement power like the Southern Slam, like the Mauling Mace, but it's not sufficient for me to pick this one. The one that I would like to do is 10% Mace power, but the good thing about it is that 10% Brutal Strike added on top of that, and also slide and dice become smash and bash, which is also the one that become a layer. So with that said, what power have I chosen? Just to recap, I've got my this guy was so close to him. I've got my X sweep as the main spender. I've got the Southern Slam as the as a layer as well. As an 8-second cooldown layer. I've got Smash and Bash, which is modified through the talent. I've got the Mauling Mace as well as the Psychotic Mashup, all being added 1 extra charge thanks to the talent. Ripping Time is the signature, as well as the Pure Carnage is to weaken the enemy around me, but more importantly so is to transfer the symbiotic protection into health and also gain me armor protection. All right, so now I hope you kind of like get the idea of how to build him, and he's a pure physical hero, pure melee as well. So gear wise, you probably would like to just focus on the on all the melee and or kind of like physical, and then you are rather sorted in terms of like a stat priority, because I've got a lot of people asking me the question. You have to pay attention to the flat damage, because those will scale up to your crit and brutal. So make sure that you have a decent amount of like either damage rating, physical damage rating, or even attribute, because attribute help with the base power. Then you need the multiplier. The multiplier are the crit chance, the brutal chance, as well as the crit damage rating. Don't need to worry too much about brutal damage rating. That kind of like because of it doesn't really proc that often. All right, so now that is the to wrap up the whole kind of like talent, trait, and power. The next bit is really to demonstrate to you how he plays like in a Cosmic Terminal. Okay, so this is daily build goal with the Carnage using mostly pre 2.0 gear. I'm using a grade 70 legendary rank 4, so nothing fantastic here. Whatever you see, just put that into consideration. Over here, what does he want? So this is a Southern Slam, as you can see, very effective. Then you can do a little bit of movement here and there as well. Oops, sorry. That one, you have to remember that one is like a single power here. Right, so now you can see that my symbiotic protection is very high, so it's a good time to do a little bit of like damage here and there. So I'm being buffed up, as you can see. So you can see that, you know, it's pretty effective. And as when this one is like you know, full, when you use your power, that you know, it will actually generate the adrenal rush as well. So this is a buff that gives you the movement speed as well as damage kind of thing. Very nice. Try to keep it full if you can. So it's Southern Slam, and just that's it. Oh, there's a guy here. Oh, sorry. Okay, now I got it. So I have to remember which one dash, which one doesn't. Ooh, there's a poison. So all done. Quite a full buff. So I just need to make sure that that is being unloaded onto Shocker. Alright, so that is effective. Alright, just see, I get my shield back. Yep, done. Ooh, look at that. Awesome. So I've got the well, I'm gonna reroll a little bit thing here and there, but it's cosmically enhanced Vibro Smasher. This one looks alright, just that it's brutal damage rating. It's a little bit of a shame because that is really a lousy stat. Okay, next bit. Let's see. This is the. Oh, I don't know whether how many I need to do, how many more I need to do. Okay, so now this is Octopus. Alright, so. Ooh, wow, that hurts. Vortex. Ooh. Wow, this one hurt quite a fair bit, man. I need to get out, man. Seriously. So, yep. So as you can see, there are some high risk, kind of high return, kind of like thing going on. Unlike Moon Knight, though, I mean, you know, Moon Knight is kind of nice because the design, or it was that it would actually give you a buff when it's low health. This doesn't work that way. Signature. So I have to watch out a little bit. I have to think a little bit on when to do certain things. Ooh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Deadpool. Ooh, wow. That's high damage. Vortex. Alright. So that's done. Quite a few good drops here and there. See, it's rather effective. You know, but of course your health keeps going down a little bit depending on the affixes of the mob. So things like the poison thingy could be quite a little bit of hassle. It depends on, you know, if you do like things like Danger Room, it could means quite a fair bit of, like, you know, scary moment as well. And also the UI is a bit bugged right now. You can't really see it's actually maxed out. You can't really see that it is maxed out, the meter here. So well, this is on. Let me just destroy this one first. How about that? Oh, there's a delay, man. Can't believe that it takes such a while to destroy a totem. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, got stunned. Beacon. He's shield up. Well, you know, shield up affixes usually take a while to. Ooh, there's another. What happened to today? I've got this like a cosmically enhanced reserve electrical generator. Is it good or not? I do not know. But it's been, I don't know, today it's been a good day. For some strange reason, they must have heard us, you know, our feedback saying that, I mean, this terminal need a bit more better kind of gear, you know. Ooh, 3 splinters. Well, what's up with this game? Suddenly, everything is so good. Maybe there's a cooldown. Like, if you haven't played this game for a while, they will actually give you like a better buff here and there. Or the hero. I'm happy, you know, I must say. Oh, that hurts. Woo! Okay, done. Last one is the Vulture. Vulture? Is it Vulture? The main boss. Now I'm going to pop the signature, the ultimate. It's called Maximum Carnage. I just need to make sure that I pop it when he's stationary at one place rather than moving around, because this power, so he's going to dust his thing, and what is he going to do? Okay, so this is the Maximum Carnage. Just make sure it doesn't move away, man. Don't move away. Alright, cool. So that's it. It's done. Nothing here, but let's see whether I have something here or not. Oh, I got Mighty Business Attire as well. What? Well, it's She-Hulk thingy. Why am I so excited about Zhang's? Well, because I haven't seen this before. I thought, whoa, that's nice. And but I mean, loots aside, I hope you enjoyed the video about Carnage. I mean, you know, you can see I get a little bit excited as well. You know, I'm a fair guy. If the hero is fun, if the hero is designed right and feels strong, you know, I get excited. But otherwise, I do not. So, you know, I am who I am. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy Carnage as well. Do let me know in the description below or comment below and see how you enjoy your Carnage so far and what, you know, what how build that you're having on Carnage. I'm very keen to interact with you through YouTube. So, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.